on Times Now. A former ATS cop, a political plot as well as the target. RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat. For years, India was fed a fake Hindu terror narrative. Former BJP MP Sadhvi Pragya and Indian Army officer Lieutenant Colonel Shrikant Prasad Purohit were branded as terrorists. The RSS was demonized and vilified as a radical Hindu outfit. And now, after a special NIA court throws out the case, a retired ATS officer has dropped a nuclear truth bomb. Mahiboob Mujawar, who was once part of a parallel ATS probe after Malegaon, has blown the lid off a sinister plot, a plot to harm and do something very bad with the RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat. He has told Times Now explicitly and exclusively that he was asked to arrest Mohan Bhagwat, bring him before the ATS. He's even revealed that he was given direct orders by the disgraced former Mumbai top cop Parambir Singh. Says that Parambir Singh gave the order, who in turn was doing everything to please his political masters. And he also adds that the Maharashtra ATS wanted to do something bad to Bhagwat, like they did to Kalsangra and Dange, who as per Mahiboob were killed in ATS custody, who till date, as per official records, are missing. Let's listen in to the reactions which have been coming in.
मोहन भागवत जी को उन्होंने मेरे को अरेस्ट करके पकड़ के लाने को बोला था और ये सब ऑन रिकॉर्ड था, पूरा रिकॉर्ड पे था, मगर वो लोग बता रहे थे कि ये एटीएस में है नहीं। परमवीर सिंह और उसके हायर अथॉरिटी के ऊपर बात कर रहा हूं मैं। मेरे को जो आदेश था, लिखित में आदेश था, मेरे को रिवॉल्वर दिया गया था, सीक्रेट सर्विस सीक्रेट फंड से मेरे को पैसे दे के काम के लिए भेजा था और रोज मैं उनको सुबह शाम दोपहर उनको उनके इसके अंदर रह के उनके मार्गदर्शन में काम कर रहा था मैं। और उन्होंने मेरे को संकट में डाला, इसलिए डाला कि मैंने उनका झूठ काम नहीं किया। सब में बड़ी बात यह थी तो मोहन भागवत को लाओ, ऐसा उनका आदेश था। मेरे को उनको अरेस्ट करना, पकड़ के लाओ बोले थे उनको, मेरे को हथियार दिए थे। अभी महाराष्ट्र में इतने पुलिस अधिकारी है, आईपीएस है, नागपुर के पुलिस है, जब उनको नहीं बोलते तुम मेरे को बोलते तो मेरे को शक आना जरूरी है ना। महाराष्ट्र में इतने बड़े पुलिस यंत्रणा है, वो काम नहीं देते हुए मेरे जैसे को दिए काम, धाड़सी बोल के दिए, गलत काम था ना वो। मेरे को मालूम है, मेरे को आदेश क्या याद, क्या मैं लिखित में दिया हूँ, हाई कोर्ट में लिखित में दिया हूँ मैं कि ऐसा मेरे को आदेश था बोल के। और
नहीं, गिरफ्तारी करके क्या साबित करना चाहते थे? अगर आप बोल रहे कि आपके ऊपर दबाव बनाया गया था, आपको हथियार भी दिया गया था, क्या साबित करना चाहते थे?
देखो, उनको गिरफ्तार करके लाओ बोले नहीं थे, पकड़ के लाओ बोले थे। और जो संदीप डांगे, रामजी कलसंगरा थे,
नहीं पकड़ के लाओ तो फिर क्या? पकड़ के लाओ तो फिर क्या?
पहले बारे में मैं आपके सामने ये बता रहा हूँ, बड़ा धाड़स करके हिम्मत से बोल रहा हूँ। रामजी कलसंगरा और संदीप डांगे इनके कस्टडी में थे, इलीगल कस्टडी में थे, और मोहन भागवत को ला के वो तीनों को मिला के करने वाले थे वो। यानी रामजी कलसंगरा, संदीप डांगे और मोहन भागवत जी को ला के फिर उन्होंने नई स्क्रिप्ट लिख के कुछ ना कुछ करने वाले थे। वो फेल गया वो।
क्या करने वाले थे? क्या करने वाले थे उनके साथ?
देखो, आप समझ के लो ना, मैं लाया ही नहीं ना उनको लाया ही नहीं ना मैंने मोहन भागवत जी को लाया ही नहीं ना। मैं गया नागपुर में जाके टाइम पास करके आया मैं। इसके लिए तो मेरे को खड्डे में डाले लोग, मेरे को जेल में डाले मेरे को।
That man is someone who 2016 onwards has said that there was injustice. Today he has spoken to Times Now and says that there are two key accused, he alleges, who have been killed off as per him in ATS's custody but officially still named as missing in the records. They are accused in the Malegaon Blast Case, but as Mahiboob says, he claims that they were killed in 26/11 attack. During that time, their bodies were passed off as one of the victims. How much truth is there? Is there a larger conspiracy behind a cover-up? How deep does this rot really go? Let's ask some of these questions. Ranjeet Sangle is joining us. He's an advocate. Mr. Sangle, this is very interesting because there are two men who have been named by Majipur who he says have simply disappeared, but Kalsangra and Dange, as per Mahiboob, have not disappeared. They have been killed off. He's also claimed, sir, that these directions came directly from the top cop, Parambir Singh. Why would a police commissioner do this? Is it possible that there is a larger political conspiracy when things like this are being done systematically to subvert a case in court, Mr. Sangle?
Meghna, see, there is some credibility to what Mr. Mujawar says. The reason being, the documents that he has filed in the Solapur court in his own matter, there is a statement under section 313 of the Code of Criminal Procedure that has been recorded by the court, which are judicial questions. In that particular 313 statement, he has clearly written this entire direction that was given to him by the then Additional Commissioner of Police, ATS, Mr. Parambir Singh. Right, this continuously, if you see the last paragraph of that 313 statement is explicit, and he names the officer as well as the task that was assigned to him.
Right.
Now, the second part is that in one of his applications, if I'm not mistaken, it is Exhibit 71D in that particular Solapur court application number, right? Para 7, it is categorically written that he wanted to expose the falsity or the false implication in the Malegaon bomb blast cases, right? And therefore, he was falsely implicated in this Arms Act case in Solapur, because of which his entire career got devastated.
Right.
And this is way prior to any of the investigating officers of the Malegaon bomb blast 2008 matter being examined. Now, Rajendra Ghule was one of the ATS PIs whom I cross-examined, and I had asked him whether Mahiboob Mujawar was within the team of the ATS and conducting investigation in this very matter. He said yes, he admitted it in the witness box on oath that yes, Mahiboob Mujawar was working with them. However, when the chief investigating officer, Mr. Mohan Kulkarni, I asked the same question, he refuted it and lied on oath. Now, we had evidences that Mahiboob Mujawar has worked on this matter. So now it is upon the ATS, the then ATS officers, to show as to what task was assigned to Mr. Mahiboob Mujawar. And Mahiboob Mujawar has not taken this stance today. Mahiboob Mujawar was interviewed, I believe, by Mr. Ravi Shankar or one of your colleagues only in Times Now.
Yes, it was right here in Times Now in 2016 is the interview that you are referring to.
That is correct. In that, when he was in your studio, right, he has categorically stated all of these facts. However, then those documents are not on record. He was kind enough to send those documents to the court, special NI court in Mumbai, right, where those documents are taken on record. And I'm saying this on record that the Honorable Court has made certain very, very serious observations in the judgment of the Malegaon bomb blast 2008 case, acquittal judgment, which runs into more than 1,000 pages, and there are 80 headings in that judgment. In that, one of the heading is arrest of Dr. Mohan Bhagwat, RSS chief, is one of the headings under which the Honorable Court has been pleased to make certain observations. Now, by end of today, I think we will have the copy of the judgment. It is still not uploaded. There is some fine-tuning that is going on. Once we have it, we can have a greater clarity on that.
That's very interesting what you are telling us, Mr. Ranjeet Sangle, that once the order, of course, which we are still awaiting for, is uploaded, we may have an entire section of the verdict which may also deal with a larger plot against Mohan Bhagwat. This is not just a figment of imagination. This is something which is there in court records and now is possibly going to be part of the final order as well. Mr. Sangle, however...
Candidly, Meghna, to put it candidly, it's going to open the Pandora's box.
It will? It seems like you may have an inkling about what it may. Can you tell us about the larger plot, how it has been coming up again and again, the Mohan Bhagwat conspiracy, or rather the conspiracy against him, Mr. Sangle? Because you appear to know some inside details as well.
Clear. I'm sorry. The Honorable Court was absolutely clear yesterday when it pronounced the judgment in the open court. The court said that terrorism does not have a religion.
Yes.
Terrorism ka koi dharma nahi hota.
Absolutely.
In that, right now, it is upon the then Congress leaders and the ATS to show as to on what basis did they coin the term of saffron terror. And it is evident from the records that they wanted to falsely implicate the higher-ups of RSS and to show that 2008 bomb blast, Malegaon bomb blast, was a conspiracy that was hatched by some of the people who believe in the RSS, right? And then make this heinous act against a particular religion, right? And therefore, the day that the culprits chose was the last day of the holy month of Ramzan.
Yes.
And the next day, the Navratri was supposed to start. So if you read the FIR, that also smacks clearly of religious prejudice, where I had asked question to the investigating officer who had written down this FIR. It says, Hindu समाजाचा नवरात्रोत्सव व मुस्लिम बांधवांचा पवित्र रमजान महिना. So Hindus are not your brethren. That is what I asked the investigating officer, and he did not have anything to say. You see, from that moment,
so there was prejudice right from the beginning, Mr. Sangle, that you are saying from 2008, 2009 itself is when that conspiracy would have started. Would you say that? Would that be correct?
Absolutely. And I'm making, and for the first time, I'm telling this to you, Meghna. Malegaon 2008 bomb blast, which occurred allegedly on the 29th of September, they had clearly suppressed that there was a riot at the scene of alleged offense. There was firing that at the scene of offense that was pronounced in the open court also yesterday by the Honorable Court. That was phase one of the attack against the Hindus and the Bhagwa. The second phase of attack against the Hindus and the Bhagwa was the 26/11.
So that's very interesting. Not just the legal aspect, also the political rhetoric and the narrative which was built around it, Mr. Sangle, that there is saffron terror. Now, of course, right after the order came in of Malegaon, there is also a new one, which is Sanatani terror. We'll get into that later. We'll get into the politics later. But Mr. Sangle, you have said that this direct link was being drawn by two people who allegedly the ones who had taken the motorcycle, the freedom bike, and had planted the bomb on it, Kalsangra and Dange. But today these people are missing, mysteriously missing. Now you have a former ATS officer coming out and saying they're not missing, they've been killed by the ATS. How?
You will stand corrected. You will stand corrected. There are not only two people, there are three people who are missing from that particular matter.
Okay.
Two are Ramchandra Kalsangra and Sandeep Dange. The third is Dilip Patidar, who was picked up from Madhya Pradesh and brought to Mumbai and was never found again.
Interesting.
Dilip Patidar was shown to be a witness later, but he was picked up as a suspect. And Dilip Patidar did not make back to his home, and therefore a CBI inquiry was initiated against the ATS officers. There was a writ petition filed of habeas corpus before the Madhya Pradesh High Court in this matter. Your back-end think tanks or your back-end research team might want to do some research on the writ petition, habeas corpus writ petitions filed in the Madhya Pradesh High Court. And also, please read the book, The Myth of Hindu Terror, written by the then Under Secretary to the Government of India, Ministry of Home Affairs, Mr. R.V.S. Mani. He has written explicitly things which were not in public domain. He was the then Under Secretary of the Home Department in the Government of India.
So these are very interesting details. This hasn't come out. But one thing which everyone talks about is also, Mr. Sangle, the number of witnesses who turned hostile, the amount of pressure which was exerted, the kind of tortures, third degrees, that the main accused were forced to endure year after year, decade after decade, 17 years later. How do you expect this to end, Mr. Sangle? Yesterday, when we put straight question, there are people who insist this court's order is not the final one.
No, clearly the order is a final one. Acquittal can be challenged, right? But under the law of double jeopardy, the accused will not be subjected to the rigors of the trial again. That is the law of the land, okay? Now, having said that, when Meghna, you rightly said that 40 witnesses have turned hostile, right? I would beg to differ a little on that. The witnesses have come to the witness box and spoken the truth. Just because they did not support the prosecution version, which was extracted or extorted from them under threat, intimidation, undue influence, coercion, and without their free will, right, under serious mental and physical torture. I'll give you an example. Yashpal Bhadana is a man who is the only witness claimed by the prosecution of the Bhopal meeting in which the conspiracy was hatched of Malegaon 2008 bomb blast. The man has come to the court and stated that he had never visited Bhopal in his entire life. He was taken by the ATS to Bhopal for the first time with them, shown around that this was the place and that you have to say that that you were serving refreshments in the respective meeting, and that is how his statement came to be recorded under threat and intimidation. He was kept under illegal custody. That is what he has said. Now, if witnesses come to the court and speak the truth on oath, they can't be called as hostile. Unfortunately, the prosecution's prerogative is to declare the witness hostile or not the defense, not the court. And therefore, right, all these witnesses, for example, another witness is Captain Nitin Joshi, who was seriously tortured and harassed. His statements were recorded. He's written to the Human Rights Commission. Long letters written to the Human Rights Commission in respect of the torture meted out to him. Now, there are 40 of these witnesses who have not supported the prosecution case. They've spoken the truth.
Officially speaking, they have turned hostile, but you are saying they didn't really turn hostile. They just spoke the truth as per you.
Correct.
Well, this is going to be an interesting one. Revelation after revelations after what Mahiboob has already declared. He is a former ATS officer who says that those of the two witnesses, the main accused who allegedly had planted the bomb on that freedom bike, after he claimed that those two have not gone missing, they have actually been bumped off. They actually have been killed off by the ATF. Now you have none other than Ranjeet Sangle, who's coming out and saying that very soon there'll be an expose that it's not two, but three such people who have disappeared from ATS's custody. And he also says that the Mohan Bhagwat conspiracy to allegedly kill him. Well, we expect something explosive coming our way when the order of the courts is uploaded later on in the day. Mr. Ranjeet Sangle, thank you so much for giving us inside details of how the trial progressed, what really has been happening over the years, and how finally the courts came. But with that, let's move on in the bulletin. Big breaking news. There are ripples after Times Now's super exclusive. Maharashtra Chief Minister has now reacted to Times Now's news break. Watch how Chief Minister Fadnavis has to say.
ये जो 2008 का षड्यंत्र है, ये सभी के सामने अब खुल चुका है। और उस समय की जो सरकार है, इस सरकार ने वोट की राजनीति के लिए हिंदू टेरर और भगवा आतंकवाद ये शब्द तैयार किए थे और हिंदुत्ववादी और राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ के अधिकारी पदाधिकारी इनको टारगेट करने का ये षड्यंत्र था। और कई अधिकारी ऐसे थे कि जिन अधिकारियों ने बहुत प्रेशर आने के बावजूद ये स्पष्ट रूप से कहा कि हम इतना गैर कानूनी काम नहीं कर सकते, ऐसा कोई सबूत दूर दूर तक इनके खिलाफ नहीं है। तो मुझे ये लगता है कि अब परत दर परत ये जो षड्यंत्र है ये बाहर निकल रहा है।
Well, the political pot, of course, has been boiling after Times Now's explosive interview with former cop Mujawar. In fact, he had said that he was ordered to arrest RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat as part of an ominous plot which has triggered off a nationwide political storm. Back-to-back reactions have been pouring in as questions are now mounting as to who gave the order and what was the intent behind it. Watch this.
ऐसे अफसर को गिरफ्तार करके जेल में भेजना चाहिए, समझ गए? या तो आप में दम होता उस वक्त बोलते हैं। आर.के. सिंह होम सेक्रेटरी थे, सारी घटनाक्रम के रचनाकार आर.के. सिंह बरी हुए, सारे के सारे आर.के. सिंह की वजह से 2014 में 27 ही भगवा भगवा कर करके वो सत्ता लेकर के आगे, लेकिन आज देश को खड़ा कहां कर दिया तुमने भाई? इन नफरतों से निकल करके बाहर देश की तरफ देखिए। कारोबार बंद हो रहे हैं, रोजगार तबाह हो रहे हैं। अगर टाटा जैसी कंपनी भी 12-12 हजार लोगों को निकाल रही है तो स्थिति भयावह है।
These are all stories. They will always keep on things. We all know that the BJP wants a diversion now. Quickly they want the diversion. Mr. Modi and Amit Shah wants to save their skins from Trump attacks. Therefore, they will find out these kind of stories. They had failed in the debate on Pahalgam. They are not. The Prime Minister is not ready to come to the Parliament. After that, he got fever, I think. Therefore, political fever is for him. He is not ready to come to Rajya Sabha. They will find out these kind of stories to divert from the real issues.
देखिए, वो अधिकारी, वो एजेंसियां पहले क्यों खामोश थी, और आज की एजेंसियां, आज के अधिकारियों पे जनता को कितना भरोसा है या एजेंसियां किस तरह काम कर रही हैं, ये सब जानते हैं। इसलिए ना मालेगांव ब्लास्ट पे समाजवादी पार्टी को कोई टिप्पणी करनी है, और ना ही इतने पुराने केस में एजेंसी के किसी पूर्व अधिकारी के रिटायरमेंट के बाद अब दिए गए बयान पे समाजवादी पार्टी को कोई टिप्पणी करनी है।
उन पर दबाव डाला गया था या अब दबाव डाला जा रहा है, पहले वो स्पष्ट करें। ऐसे अधिकारी जब पद पर रहते हुए ऋण विहीन रहते हैं, रिटायर होने के बाद पोस्ट रिटायरमेंट पोस्ट पाने के लिए कुछ कहना चाहते हैं, इनको सीरियसली नहीं लेना चाहिए, बल्कि इनकी जांच करनी चाहिए कि अगर ऐसा बात था तो उन्होंने शिकायत क्यों नहीं की।
Sir, Mahiboob Mujawar, who is the former ATS officer, he said that I was told to arrest Bhagwat, bring him here. Kalsangra, Dange, Bhagwat, Maharashtra ATS wanted to harm him, is what the former...
I don't believe in such useless guys.
Sir, but he was also the...
No, they should have courage at that time, not today.
So they said that they were asked to arrest him, but they did not arrest him.
Hell with your department. I care a hoot for your... What for you are there on the post? Don't they have a courage to say it after the entire incidents has taken over? Now you are doing it. You are playing with on the whims of the BJP. Are you playing on the whims of the BJP?
We are just asking the question that...
He is playing, I accuse on me.
It is for the Maharashtra government to ask the concerned then ATS chief who has implicated all these accused and who had forced this our ex-police officer to give the statement or to investigate in a particular manner. Now, the concerned ATS chief, he may not be now there, I don't know who was that ATS chief. It is for the ATS chief who had investigated all these cases and made a false allegations against the...
As a Mumbaikar, I've seen the city being ravaged by terror attacks. I have seen people playing politics during these terror attacks. I've seen during 26/11 when the entire country was united in holding Pakistan accountable. Certain people were trying to blame the RSS and other organizations, help Pakistan walk away scot-free. So these people have a lot of answering to do when it comes to India's national security.
Well, this is Times Now's mega exclusive, the big Malegaon revelation, which has now poured in, saying that there was a plot, a malicious plot against Mohan Bhagwat. What was the plot against the RSS chief? That's going to be the big story right here on Times Now. For the time being, we are going to be wrapping up this bulletin. Siddharth joins you on the other side.